Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, of course. I have another fun, exciting makeover that we're gonna be working on. This time we're gonna be doing a living room for my friend Denise and her family. One of the first makeovers that I ever did on my channel that wasn't for my own home was for my friend Denise. And we did a very bohemian inspired room with lots of patterns and pillows and but still really bright and neutral at the same time. So if you haven't checked out that video, I'll leave it linked for you to go back and watch that from last year. So we are gonna try and take a few kind of hints or inspiration from this space, but the overall inspiration is leaning a little more transitional, which we'll get into because this is her family's home. So we were kind of taking everyone's styles and everyone's likes and dislikes and really making a beautiful space for everyone. And it's our living room. They're gonna spend a lot of time in there. The space is really beautiful. And when Denise and I were talking about the space, she was like, it has so much potential, but it's not there. They were already going to be investing in new couches for the space, a little bit more modern, getting away from what they already had. It has two really big entryways into the living room. It's somewhat open and it has a beautiful bay window. It has one small up top window that we'll see what happens there. And what they're really looking for is a better flow, make it feel more cozy and inviting and comfortable because they do spend a lot of time in there. A little bit of a better flow in terms of how the couches are laid out, seating that makes sense, and just an overall style. She wants it to look beautiful. So as for inspiration for this space, Denise and I have a very similar style, which is good. It helps me a lot. We were definitely in agreement on keeping the space very light on the wall color, but bringing in some contrast and kind of mixing the materials that went into this space for the couches and the chairs and the rug, and bringing in some color, but also keeping it very classic. We don't want anything overly trendy. We want it to be something that they're gonna keep forever. She loved incorporating some of the things that they had in there already, which definitely helps with budget. So we're gonna kind of DIY some things, update some things, and then bring in some new furniture and art and curtains and all of that. So let's get started. It is day one, and day one is always paint day. It's like the first thing that I do, but it's kind of one of the last things that I pick when I'm kind of designing a space, because I want to get a rug first. I want to kind of have a frame of mind of what the direction and the inspiration that I'm going to take a room, and then I select the paint because paint comes in all different colors. So it's very versatile. So a very special thank you to Benjamin Moore for sponsoring today's video. I've talked about their paints before. I used their color portfolio app to see what the different paint colors were gonna look like in here. So when you open the app, you can choose a couple of different things. You can flip through all of the colors that Benjamin Moore has to offer, like a virtual color card of all of the different paints. You can also see your room and actually color drop the different paint colors that you are interested in or want to experiment with. So you can click on Video Visualizer, and then we got a working camera of the whole room. Then you can scroll through all of their color swatches. So let's try something fun. You just tap what part of the picture you want to color. That's actually pretty cool. Let's look at this side. What you can also do with the app is if you have an inspiration picture of a color palette or an overall look that you want for your space, you can actually bring it into the app and it'll tell you all of the closest Benjamin Moore paint colors that's in that room. For instance, let's try my breakfast room. So it has lots of like deep colors in it. So let's see what colors they pick out. So in my breakfast room is glacial teal, black forest green, Roosevelt taupe, bittersweet chocolate, and Merlot red. Ooh, I like the colors of my breakfast area. That's actually really cool. So you can download the app, try out different colors, and then buy all of your paints online at benjaminmoore.com. So I'm gonna leave all of these links below so that you guys can try it out. The app is absolutely free and kind of really fun to use. We do really wanna keep this room bright. This room is obviously already white, but what color white is this? White. Denise went to the store and said, I want white. Believe it or not, white might be the hardest color to pick for any space. There's a plethora, I like that word, plethora of whites. Overall, I think we picked a good color, even without sampling it in here first. The app and the swatches just helped enormously. So we're gonna do Dove Wing, and we're gonna tape this room off and paint it. We also have another contrasting color that we're gonna do on the trim, which I'll show you in a little bit. You guys are totally probably thinking, why is she painting a white room white? And I know that it doesn't make that big of a difference on camera, but just all of the undertones that white paints have, and also the difference in sheen, taking it from satin finish on the walls to a more flat finish, totally transforms the way that the room actually feels. So I know it looks like a small change, but it makes a huge difference to the overall design. I saw this Wiz applicator, the Wedge paintbrush. I just used it to go around all of the trim because look, you see how it's wider on the bottom? This is like the best trim brush that I've ever used. Paints faster, paints straighter, paints longer. Denise is just helping me roll some of the other walls, but even though it's not coming up on camera, I promise it looks good. One more paint thing that we want to do in here is something that I've already done already, and I cannot tell you how much it changed my living room, was painting the trim around my windows black. It's so good. When Denise saw my living room, she was like, oh, we have to do something contrasting, something black like that. Really want to do the trim around the windows black and also the trim around the entry doors black, so that it all ties in really well together. We're gonna be using Benjamin Moore Regal Select paint in Mopboard black. I'm also using it in a satin finish, so it's more durable for trim. Higher the sheen or higher the finish, the more durable your paint's going to be. Okay, so it is officially day 2. Got here earlier, finished up the trim work in here, and oh my gosh, how the new white color plus the black trim totally already changed this whole space. I love how the wood grain around the trim of the entryway walkthroughs are showing through. It looks so like luxurious and expensive. It's finally starting to have a little bit of like character. So we'll take today, kind of experiment with the furniture that we have. They've already wanted to invest in new couches, so they did that, which is great. So those are here, we're ready to put them together, and I got a really fun rug for this space. If you guys are familiar with Chris Loves Julia over on Instagram, I love her account. She created her own rug line with Laloy, and I missed it the first round, and I loved all of the really beautiful prints. I missed it, they sold out in all of the like bigger sizes. And then she posted on her Instagram that it was like live for like, don't walk, run to get them because they just came back in stock, and I did it. So it has like lots of rust and dark, deep charcoal undertones in it that's perfect for this room and perfect for the new couch color that they got, which is like a dark gray. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get the curtains and the curtain rod all up. I knew that they made curtain rods that were actually the shape of a bay window, like the end ones kind of turned out. This is a very large bay window, but I think I found one on Amazon that will actually work, and I got it in this beautiful like antique gold, bronze, brass color. I just said a whole bunch of colors. I also got matching hooks or all of the curtain panels to be hung like that. I was worried about the height. I really wanted the curtains to go all the way up and actually puddle on the floor. Then for curtains, I ordered these on Amazon, and I haven't used these before, but they had good reviews and I actually really like them. They're a little bit sheer, just a tad. They're this beautiful linen color, and I feel like just the natural color will complement everything that we're doing in here. So this was a little bit confusing to put together, but what I would recommend is assembling your rod, getting the holes exactly where you need them to hang it up, and actually putting the rings on the rod, and then getting a helper to actually help you put it up, because I feel like that's the only way that you can put this big of a rod up on the wall. The curtains look beautiful. We hung them as high as we could while still creating the puddle on the floor, and I think it's perfect. They're about 10 inches from the ceiling. It already makes this space feel so much bigger. So now that we have the great couches in this kind of like L formation, we need something here. So finding accent chairs was actually a little difficult. And then as a last resort, I headed to Target and found these, and I can't believe how perfect they are. They bring in that like mixed materials that we were looking for, and they don't even sell them in store. So just by chance, I scanned the barcode on the box to see what was in the 2 boxes, and there were these chairs, and they were on sale. It was meant to be, but I think they're gonna be perfect in this space, and they're the perfect size. So another one of the must-have updates that they really wanted to do in this space was just to make the kind of vintage brass chandelier look a little more updated, a little more modern. So right now it has the kind of like flower globes. So I went to the hardware store to see if they had any that would go but would look a little more modern. So I found these, and they're straight on the sides. So I'm hoping that with the update to the shape, and then also changing the lights from warm lights to daylight LED, it'll just make the whole space feel a lot more modern. But I really do love the brass fixture. It's kind of like something I would buy at the thrift store anyway. So I really wanted to incorporate the actual structure of the chandelier, and I think it really goes with the design. Mounting a TV actually on the wall always makes a space feel to me more designed, more thought through. So I had this extra mount in storage, so we went ahead and hung up the TV. I was really trying to reuse and be resourceful, and I found a coffee table on Facebook Marketplace, and it was really pretty. In the pictures, it looked really big, but she told me it was 30 inches round. I know for a fact it's gonna be too small, so I'm gonna make one. I really wanted it to be oval. I came across this one on Anthropologie. It's so pretty. It's expensive. So, you know, my brain's like, well, I think I could make something similar. This isn't gonna be a tutorial because I don't know what I'm doing. So you guys are gonna be along for the ride and see it in progress. It's all 2x4s. The whole thing is gonna be 2x4s. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 2x4s. This is the top. I got another 2x4 and I just mitered the edges. Basically, this is gonna be the brace to attach it all together. Can I pull this off? I don't know, we're gonna see. Okay, this part, throwing me for a loop, but I think I figured it out. Look. So basically, I needed to create this kind of like double Y situation because I really like that look. Pocket holes to attach them together. I actually got the bottom to look good, look. Can you believe I actually did it? I mean, it's sturdy. So it is another day. Let's talk about art first. So I really wanted something really special for them. Denise really wants to invest in some Mexican artists, some art that they're just gonna have in their family for generations, hopefully. And that takes time. That takes finding the right pieces that you absolutely love. So without spending a whole bunch of money on something that might be temporary until they find something that they're really gonna love, I just figured we'd give them some pretty artwork that either I already had or that I could make. So this morning I watercolored these just simple abstract flower prints. I thought that they were really pretty and they would be really simple. And if you guys remember these frames that I had for last year for Christmas, I've never quite had a place to put them after that, and I didn't put them up this year, so I figured we could use the frames because the frames light wood matches the other kind of lighter wood that's in here. Also, if you guys remember this guy from my living room, I took it down from my living room when I did something different, and it's really beautiful. It was actually from West Elm, but I got it at Goodwill for 20 bucks, and I think at West Elm it was like 200. I'm gonna cut these to size and put these in our frames and hang them up on each side of this very small window. I also want to tell you guys about this cabinet. I didn't even mention it. I actually built a cap for the heater. Ta-da! So in LA, we only use the heater for like 2 months out of the year. And granted, it is getting to be wintertime and they probably will get this working again and like fix it up. But when they're not using it for the, 10 months, it'll be like a little shelf. It even kind of looks like a little bar. So I just made it out of 12-inch pieces of wood, and then Denise last night painted it all white, like the same color as the wall. So it looks perfect. And it fits like a glove. And then we can put some pretty things on it. So if any of you guys remember this table, you're a real one. I can't believe I found this table for $1 at the thrift store. And it was Dollar Day at Goodwill a year ago. It matches like the bookshelf, the console that we're using for underneath the TV. perfectly. And it had black accents. Why not? And housed all of the Wi-Fi stuff, like all of the towers and stuff. So I know we brought the coffee table in last time, but I didn't really get to talk about it that much. I can't believe I pulled this off, for one. And I think the only thing that I would change next time if I was to make something like this where it had smaller pieces of wood sitting next to each other would be to stain it first. I felt like it was really hard to stain it with something like this that's a stain that has fuller coverage, and I couldn't really get in the lines very well. But for my first time making an oval coffee table that I've never done before, it's not too bad. And it's very heavy, so it's very sturdy. And then this table could go here. I mean, I do know that we have 2 different tables in here, and if I can find another one like that, we will definitely replace it. But for now, while her family's gonna come home, this will work just fine. For lamps, I actually found these lamps at HomeGoods, and it was a whole situation. They didn't have shades. I had to find different shades. I ended up finding shades at Target, which were perfect, but it has like a amber brown bottom and then a natural linen top. So it was kind of going with that like warmth, but mixed in here. So we'll put these on each of the side tables. Pillows! You know I love pillows. I can't get enough of pillows. So pillows for this space was actually a little fun, but a little difficult. First, I found some at HomeGoods, which was this really pretty black one. It was like a neutral with this black kind of line in it, which I loved. And I was like, okay, we like the neutral, we like the black, that was our contrast. So those were gonna be perfect. Of course, I wanted to find 4 of things, but couldn't. Different HomeGoods, I found these neutral ones, and they're really soft. 4 of these. I was like, okay, let's try those. But once I got here, they were just all too neutral. We really wanted to bring in some kind of color from the rug. Then I found these rust colored ones at Target. Although they're the perfect color, rust with a little bit of pink undertone, which is in the rug, I'm not a huge fan of the stitching. I think that they work. They're a great, you know, budget-friendly option. So we're gonna play around with these and see what they look like. And I think these are gonna look really good over here on these chairs. Oh yeah. And then it brings in the black over here on a very neutral palette, which is perfect. And then these have like cute tassels on them too. Maybe I'm just like being too particular. Sometimes I'm really particular about pillows. I think I overanalyze it sometimes, but let's see. Before we cut any tags off, let's see. And then these neutral ones will probably help to calm that color down. So it'll just be like a little bit of a peak. I think they're keepers. So I was at World Market, Cost Plus World Market, and I really was looking for a throw to go in here that was also cozy, but also looked like the color palette. I feel like everywhere else had all Christmas throws out, but I found this blanket, and it's from a company called Sackcloth and Ashes. You see that? But for every throw that you buy, they give a blanket to a homeless shelter in the area. I'd much rather spend money on a throw that's gonna do some good from a small company, even a local company, that is also really pretty and that does some good stuff. So look how pretty this throw is. Oh, it even has lighter gray. I didn't even realize that. Look, and then it fades to white at the bottom. So we're gonna end up putting, obviously, a lot more styling elements in here. I'm gonna style the coffee table and this little like box that we made for the heater. This cabinet is something they already had, which definitely we wanted to use everything that we could. But one of the things that we lost in here was this tall black bookcase. And it had some stuff on there that I didn't know if they wanted to keep or maybe reorganize. But after going through it, they only needed a little bit of that stuff, really. So I felt like instead of this just being decorative, it could also be for storage. So something I'm going to do that you're not gonna see me do is I'm actually going to make them some doors. So I'm gonna put one here on this side to turn these 2 cubbies into storage, hidden storage, and then one on this side. And then the only things that are gonna be decorative are the middle 4 cubbies. You would have seen me do it, but I don't know how to match the gray color. So I think it's gonna take me some practice, and because her family's coming home, I just really want this to be a space that's finished for them. And you know, projects are always in works. But I felt like this was a perfect place maybe for them to put their family photos, but that's what things that I want them to do. A great foundation for them to do all of those special things now. Okay, I'm so happy with the way that this space came together. I'm gonna get out of here so that Denise can reveal it to her family, and hopefully we'll have some footage of you guys seeing their reaction for the first time. And then you guys will also see the full reveal.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Hey, let me call you back.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Enjoyed this makeover. It always makes me so happy when the people that I do the makeover for enjoys it. This is their family space. This is where they spend time, and I really wanted it to be beautiful. I feel like a space is never really finished. There are some things that they are interested in getting in the future that will work into the space, like the artwork. I love the way that it came out, and I feel like we made the greatest foundation for them to bring in some of their heirlooms and style some of the pieces that they absolutely love, and then get some art that they're gonna love forever and have in their family forever. So if you guys did like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are not already subscribed. I post new makeovers, thrift flips, DIY projects for your home every Sunday on my channel. So you're not gonna wanna miss them. So make sure you hit the bell notification so you know when I upload and you get notified when I upload. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful holiday season. We've got a few more holiday things coming about, and play around with the Benjamin Moore color portfolio app. I love it. I just walk around my house and just like coloring all of the walls to see what they would look like. And of course, if you are painting your room, if you're gonna be doing a project in your house, definitely check out Benjamin Moore Paints. And we will see you guys next week. Oh, she's asleep. She's like she's cold. You gonna say bye? Oh my gosh, you sleepy girl. Bye guys. My favorite especially, but you good? I'll wait. Of color palettes